My boyfriend Toby Hall is antisocial. In my memory, he is different from normal people. While others watching horror movies with blood and gore may shudder in fear and feel nauseous, he gets excited with gleaming eyes. I stand in the corner, silently watching him, not stopping him, not saying much. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. I love him. I love him more than life itself. He said, as long as I obediently listen to him, he will never hurt me. I believe him wholeheartedly, but I hate the prey around Toby, especially those alluring, scheming, innocent, and various types of women. They do not understand Toby Hall at all. They only love his handsome appearance. I watch them suffer and beg in pain. I am subtly proud. The miserable deaths of the prey prove that I am the only special one in Toby's heart. After each game, Toby lovingly collects their heads. He carries the prey's long hair, hums a tune, and strides elegantly to the basement. Blood drips drop by drop onto the ground from the cut on the neck. Toby doesn't have to worry about the floor getting dirty, because I am there. I am willing to help him clean up the crime scene. Wearing gloves, I scrub the bloodstains on the floor repeatedly until the gray tiles are revealed. After cleaning up, I sit on the sofa in the living room, waiting for Toby's praise. He likes to caress my cheeks and gently compliment me. Mins, it's so good to have you. I like to lie by his side, watching his sleeping face. His handsome face shines brightly under the night light, his faint breathing peaceful and serene. He's like a prince in a fairy tale. All his tenderness belongs only to me. I fantasize about guarding him for a lifetime. However, one day, my dream shattered. Toby brought home a beautiful young girl. 3 days. They were together for a full 3 days. Toby did not kill her. For the first time, I felt an unprecedented crisis. Based on my understanding of Toby, once the prey enters the house, she can only live for 3 days. On the first day, he played with her. On the second day, he tortured her. On the third day, she will die. How could this young girl receive special treatment? I was jealous to the point of madness. How could Toby's tenderness be given to someone else? My heart was restless, and even a terrible thought emerged. Every time Toby called her Sadie, I wanted to personally pierce the girl's heart. I could not bear it anymore. I could not let Sadie take my place. After dinner, I deliberately took a sharp fruit knife and sat next to the girl, peeling fruit. I have cleaned up many severed broken bodies, and I understand the human anatomy very well. I could stab Sadie's heart with one blow. This thought grew stronger. The active nerves made my hands uncontrollably tremble with excitement. Mins, give me the knife. Toby grabbed my hand from behind. Toby? I looked up at him. His cold black eyes were indifferent. Mins, listen to me. Go back to your room. I couldn't refuse his command. The half-peeled apple in my hand rolled to the ground. I felt like a discarded chess piece, fleeing in embarrassment. As I closed the door, I saw Toby embracing Sadie. He gently comforted the person in his arms, just as he used to comfort me softly. My sister is too willful. His chin touched Sadie's neck. The tenderness that once belonged only to me was now given to another girl. That was unforgivable. Before, I used to admire Toby's murderous look. I knew that stabbing a wound with a blunt weapon, compared to a sharp one, could increase the prey's pain. Toby liked to fight alone. Only when the prey died did he need me to take action. Now, I want to take matters into my own hands. In my mind, I repeatedly practiced how to kill Sadie Fox. I searched for handy tools in the room. Bone shears, chainsaw, steel needles, cleaver, hammer. Each one exuded a strong smell of blood, deeply attracting me, as if saying, come, kill her. I was not afraid of Sadie Fox. I was just worried about angering Toby. He was smart and sharp, seeming to sense my murderous intentions. He began to guard Sadie closely. Whether sleeping at night or in broad daylight, they seemed like a passionate couple in love, entwined intimately. Jealousy burned through me like a raging fire, scorching every nerve of mine. Finally, in the late night when their passion was at its peak, I erupted completely. I kicked open the door, grabbed a bottle of sulfuric acid, and splashed it on Sadie. If Toby fell in love with her beautiful face, I would ruin it. Ah, are you crazy, Mins? Sadie panicked and ran around. The sulfuric acid splashed on her arm, causing blisters on her delicate skin. Unfortunately, it didn't burn her face. Mins, stop. Toby sternly called out to me, stop messing around. I stood still, like a ridiculous clown, pulling the corners of my mouth, feeling both sad and ridiculous. Toby, are you going to abandon me? If he said yes, I would burn down this villa, the three of us merging with the fire, perishing together. Toby was silent for a few seconds, not answering me. Turning around, his well-defined large hands supported Sadie, leading her to the living room to apply medicine. My heart felt like it was being twisted by a knife as I screamed towards his tall figure, next time, I won't miss. Toby turned to look at me. His pitch-black eyes were cold and indifferent. That terrifying gaze, as if looking at someone about to die, made me shiver. In an instant, I wavered. I was really afraid of him, but I couldn't just sit and wait for death. Since Toby betrayed our relationship, he shouldn't blame me for betraying him. It was he who first abandoned me. It was all his and Sadie's fault. I knew Toby's weaknesses and vulnerabilities. To retaliate against him harshly, I stole the key hidden under the sofa by Toby. On a stormy night, with dark clouds and strong winds, I sneaked into the basement of the villa. The lightning and thunder outside masked my footsteps. I opened the door, and a dark, damp, fishy smell mixed with the strange scent of certain chemicals filled my nostrils. I leaned against the wall and turned on the incandescent light. What is this? I was shocked. In front of me were rows of shelves. In each compartment, lifelike puppets were placed. When they heard a sound, they all turned their heads, their blood-red pupils rolling, staring at me intently. Their eerie appearance was extremely strange. I approached them and recognized a few familiar faces. No wonder Toby liked to collect the heads of prey. The heads of these puppets were all from real people. I knocked down the display stand in the corner. Dozens of wooden puppet heads scattered on the ground, their bodies shattered, blood spurting from the necks and heads. I took a blade from the experiment table. The sharp edge was more useful than a kitchen knife. Covered by the sound of the pouring rain, I quietly left the basement, locked the door, pretending nothing had happened. I placed the key next to the sofa. Then I hid the blade in Sadie's coat pocket. With everything set up, I went back to the room and lay down. Thinking about the drama tomorrow, I was excited. Toby Hull is mine. Only mine. Who is Sadie? She doesn't deserve Toby's affection. I will make sure she leaves in pieces. The next day, the rain stopped. Dark clouds loomed over the villa. I listened carefully. The living room was quiet. No fighting, no arguments. What's going on? Did Toby not notice the missing key? I opened the door and saw a harmonious scene. Toby had his arm around Sadie's waist. Sadie nestled in his embrace. The two were intimate, watching a melodrama on TV. My appearance seemed to disrupt their harmony. Since Toby didn't find the clues I left behind, I decided to take the initiative. I took a broom and started cleaning seriously. In the past, I usually enjoyed doing housework. Taking care of Toby's daily life was my greatest honor. My actions did not arouse their suspicion. When I swept into the corner of the sofa, clatter. My hand shook, the broom fell, making a crisp sound as it hit the floor. Toby? I hesitated. Toby impatiently glanced at me. Mins, don't make noise. I gestured and stammered. You should come here and have a look. Toby lovingly pinched Sadie's slender waist, then reluctantly got up, took steps, and moved. The series of actions fell into my eyes, as if I saw the dawn of victory approaching me. Toby, did you take this out? Or did someone else touch it here? I cautiously asked, testing Toby's attitude. The moment he found the key, his gaze suddenly darkened. His fierce eyes were like an eagle catching prey, following my gaze, staring at the beautiful woman on the sofa. I knew I had won the bet. Even if Toby liked Sadie, he had an antisocial personality and would not be emotionally attached enough to give up his nature of killing. The basement was Toby's bottom line. Sadie, come here. This was Toby's first time giving her a command. Sadie was slightly stunned, seeming unaccustomed to her boyfriend's tough attitude. She actually boldly refused. I'll finish watching this episode of the TV series first. Toby was instantly stunned, because the women bewitched by him had not yet become too arrogant to lose their sense of propriety and defy him. Sadie was the first to dare to break the norm and show disrespect towards him. I was ecstatic. What does it mean to court disaster? Sadie, you are a typical example. Toby picked up the remote and casually turned off the TV. Sadie, come here. This was the second time he called her. Also, the second time he gave the obedient her a chance to survive. Unfortunately, Sadie displayed the tricks of a quarrelsome couple. Why are you acting crazy early in the morning? With your sister around, what do you need me for? As she spoke, she deliberately walked towards the bedroom in a huff. Toby quickly caught up with her. My heart cheered, my hands itching uncontrollably, really wanting to dismember and cut up Sadie's body right away. Sadie, come here. Toby grabbed her wrist, his tone stern. This was the third time. In Toby's world, things never went beyond 3 times. Sadie once again touched Toby's limit of tolerance. Let go. If you're mean to me, I'll go back to my hometown. The petulant Sadie still fantasized that Toby would coax her and make her happy. Little did she know, the next moment, Toby raised his hand, grabbed Sadie's hair, pulled her as if carrying a little chicken, and headed straight for the sofa. Ah, ouch. Let go of me. When had Sadie ever seen Toby angry? Her screams were continuous, sounding in my ears like the most beautiful music in the world. Toby swung her petite body, slamming it to the ground. Did you take this key? Sadie grabbed the key from the corner, so angry that she disregarded her ladylike image. Just because of this piece of shit, are you going to fight me? Suppressing a smile, I watched. The foolish woman truly believed that her delicate and fragrant beauty could control Toby? So, it was you who took it. Toby mistakenly thought Sadie admitted to the matter. So what if it was me? So what if it wasn't? Is a stupid key more important than me? You keep saying you love me. It's all fake. Sadie was on the path of no return. Toby's long and cold eyes were pitch black, devoid of any love. Mins, keep an eye on Sadie. I'm going to check the basement. Toby threw out a sentence, grabbed the key, and quickly left. This time, he no longer personally guarded this beautiful woman. You see, no one understands Toby better than me. Indeed, the two of us are a match made in heaven. Sadie dislikes me. From the moment she stepped into the villa and laid eyes on me, she displayed a hostile attitude towards me. When Toby is around, she pretends to be a gentle and kind little rabbit. Now that Toby is not here, she can't be bothered to pretend. Mins, are you really Toby's sister? Do you have a blood relationship? Sadie leaned against the wall, arms crossed in front of her chest, looking down at me with disdain. I am not his sister, I admitted. Sadie's face turned extremely ugly. I knew it. The way you look at Toby is full of admiration. You like him. I nodded vigorously. Yes, no one loves Toby more than I do. Unable to control her jealousy and anger, Sadie slapped me hard. I hit her back immediately. Tit for tat. 2 slaps later, Sadie's cheeks were red and swollen. How dare you hit me? Toby won't let you off. Did Sadie really think someone would back her up? How amusing. I grabbed her by the neck, lifted her slender body, watched her feet leave the ground, legs kicking wildly in a desperate struggle. This feeling was simply wonderful. Stop! Toby's cold voice rang out from behind. Suddenly, I regained my senses. I almost lost control. I couldn't kill Toby's prey. He walked towards me and Sadie step by step, exuding a chilling aura, fury rising in his eyes. One surgical knife is missing from the basement. He didn't mention the matter of the puppet heads at all. Sadie held her chest, coughing incessantly. Toby, cough cough, Min's almost strangled me. Toby furrowed his brows in disgust. Obviously, at this moment, the jealousy and scheming between women no longer interested Toby. The murky basement, scattered puppet heads, completely infuriated his already frayed nerves. I took the opportunity to pick up a broom, pretending to do housework, accidentally knocking off a coat from the hanger. I picked up Sadie's clothes, felt something in her pocket, and exclaimed, "What's this?" A gleaming blade, taken from her pocket by me. Caught red-handed, Toby's face darkened suddenly, his sinister eyes flashing a chilling crimson. "Who allowed you to touch my things without permission?" Toby reached out and touched Sadie's cheek, his long nails grazing her delicate skin, moving downwards, grabbing her shirt collar, pulling her up, and harshly throwing her down again. Sadie stumbled and fell onto the sofa, her forehead hitting the sharp corner of the coffee table, blood flowing. "Toby, you've misunderstood." "I didn't." Sadie covered her forehead, tears streaming down her face. Seeing her pitiful appearance, I really wanted to crush and trample her ruthlessly. Without a word, Toby grabbed Sadie's dark hair, dragged her body all the way to the basement. Sadie was cruelly dragged, her body hitting the stairs with a thud, accompanied by her hoarse screams, sounding like melodious music in my ears. Bang! The basement door was slammed shut. I felt triumphant. Sadie was doomed. Toby would tear her apart. I just needed to clean up the villa, erase all traces of Sadie's existence, and I would earn Toby's approval. He still belonged to me alone. No one could take him away. I patiently waited until midnight. Toby emerged from the basement. His clothes were soaked in dirty blood, and his face was splattered with dried bloodstains. "Toby, take a bath." I smiled up at him, showing my 8 standard teeth. Toby chuckled softly. The chilling laughter echoed in the dead silence of the night, especially harsh, making me shudder. "Mins, you are mine. Do you think I don't know what's on your mind?" He raised his knobby hand and ruffled my hair. "Frame Sadie, destroy dozens of puppets I created. Do you really want her dead that much?" My heart sank suddenly. Toby knew everything. My little tricks couldn't fool his sharp eyes. "Toby, are you going to kill me?" I closed my eyes in despair, ready to face death. Would he cut my artery with a knife, or dig out my flesh piece by piece? Or would he cut my tendons, drain my blood? Silence. The surroundings were eerily quiet. I cautiously opened my eyes and found no one in front of me. Toby had left. Once again, he forgave me. Surprise and gratitude filled my heart, and a subtle touch of emotion arose. I truly am the most special existence in Toby's life. The next day, I got up early, preparing a hearty meal. Toby calmly glanced at me and headed straight to the basement. I stood still, gazing at his tall figure. How I wished he would hug me, kiss me, praise me as usual. I waited until nightfall. Toby came out twice to eat fruit, had a meal, but completely ignored me. Loneliness and emptiness consumed every inch of my nerves. I couldn't bear his cold treatment anymore, so I knelt directly at Toby's feet. "Toby, I was wrong. Please don't abandon me." "Where did you go wrong?" Toby looked at me as if he held the power of life and death. I lowered my eyes. I shouldn't have been jealous of Sadie, shouldn't have framed her, shouldn't have smashed your puppet. "Will there be a next time?" Toby pinched my chin, forcing me to stare into his deep eyes. I shook my head desperately. "No, I won't dare anymore." Toby was satisfied with my submission. He patted my head, like a master rewarding a watchdog. "Mins, so obedient, let me introduce you to a new friend." A familiar pretty girl emerged from the basement. Her steps were slightly stiff, her figure delicate and frail, her face exactly like Sadie's.